When Americans arrive in Malaysia for the first time, they often imagine sunshine, warm beaches, and perhaps a few unusual meals, but what they discover is a place far richer and more layered. They step into a country where history is not locked in museums, but lives in the rhythm of daily life, in the voices of market sellers, in the scent of spices drifting from open kitchens, and in the quiet grace of traditional rituals still observed today. Malaysia is a land where sleek glass towers rise beside centuries-old temples and colonial buildings, where street markets hum with the chatter of different languages, and where people of many backgrounds walk the same streets with ease. The heart of the capital. In the heart of Kuala Lumpur, Americans are struck by how effortlessly the city weaves the past into the present. One moment they may be standing beneath the shining steel of a world-famous tower, and the next wandering down a narrow lane where shophouses wear bright coats of paint and potted plants spill onto the walkway. In a single walk they can pass grand mosques crowned with domes, churches with tall spires, Chinese temples filled with incense smoke curling into the rafters, and Hindu shrines alive with colorful carvings. This mix is not a tourist performance, it is simply the everyday face of the city, a living reflection of Malaysia's respect for all cultures and religions. A feast for the senses. Food in Malaysia is more than sustenance, it is a vibrant story of the nation's heritage. Americans quickly discover that meals here are a joyous meeting place of Malay, Chinese, Indian, and indigenous flavors. They taste fragrant nasi lemak wrapped in banana leaves, skewers of satay brushed with rich peanut sauce, bowls of spicy laksa made with coconut milk and fresh herbs, and flaky roti canai served alongside steaming curries. Street snacks are an adventure in themselves, brightly colored kuie tropical fruits such as mangosteen, rambutan, and durian, or icy treats like ice kacang piled high with sweet syrup and beans. Dining in Malaysia is rarely rushed, tables are shared, conversations are long, and food is seen as a way to connect hearts as well as fill stomachs. Cities with a story. Beyond Kuala Lumpur, cities like Penang and Malacca open windows into Malaysia's layered history. In Penang's Georgetown, heritage buildings stand shoulder to shoulder with modern cafes, their walls painted with murals that bring the streets alive with humor, history, and everyday scenes. The clang of walks, the ring of bicycle bells, and the soft sound of footsteps on old stone pavements create a soundtrack that feels timeless. Malacca offers its own charm. Centuries-old Portuguese forts, Dutch town squares painted in red, and British colonial buildings that tell stories of trade and migration. Visitors often find themselves lingering to admire carved wooden doors, colorful tiled pathways, and the quiet elegance of courtyards that have seen hundreds of years pass by. Nature's masterpiece. Malaysia's landscapes reveal a different kind of beauty, one that is ancient and untamed. Towering rainforests, some older than the Himalayas, shelter rare orchids, medicinal plants, and wildlife found nowhere else. Americans may see hornbills gliding between treetops, orangutans building nests high in the canopy, or tapirs emerging cautiously from the shadows. Along the coasts, islands like Langkawi and the Perhentian Group sparkle with turquoise waters and white sand, their coral reefs alive with schools of brightly colored fish. A quiet walk beneath the forest canopy, or a slow sunset by the shore offers a stillness that feels almost sacred, a reminder that nature here is not just scenery, but part of the national identity. Celebrations that unite. In Malaysia, cultural festivals are more than spectacles, they are heartfelt occasions that bring entire communities together. During Hari Raya, families welcome guests into their homes with open doors and tables laden with food. Chinese New Year fills the streets with red lanterns, pounding drums, and lion dances that leap and sway. Deepavali transforms homes and temples with glowing oil lamps and intricate kolam patterns made from brightly colored rice. Even celebrations that visitors may not have heard of, like Gawai Dayak and Sarawak, invite everyone to share in traditional dances, music, and meals. The warmth of these gatherings is unforgettable, leaving guests feeling like participants rather than observers. The warmth of the people. Perhaps the most lasting treasure Americans take home is the kindness of Malaysians themselves. Hospitality here is woven into daily life, not reserved for special occasions. It is the shopkeeper who remembers your face and asks about your day, the stranger who walks you to your destination instead of just giving directions, the taxi driver who takes a detour to show you a favorite viewpoint. Even in the busiest cities, there is time for a smile, a helping hand, or a shared laugh. These moments are small in size but large in meaning, creating memories of human connection that are just as powerful as any landmark or natural wonder. A lasting memory. By the time their journey ends, Americans realize that Malaysia is not simply a country to visit, it is a country to feel. It is a place where diversity is celebrated without hesitation, where history and modern life are seamlessly interwoven, and where strangers can become friends in a single afternoon. They leave with far more than photographs. They carry the taste of shared meals, the sound of temple bells at dawn, the scent of rain on tropical earth, and the echo of laughter from people they met only once. For many, Malaysia becomes a place they long to return to, not just to see more, but to feel the same sense of belonging again. The art and handicrafts. Another joy for visitors is discovering Malaysia's traditional arts and crafts, which are as diverse as its people. Delicate batik fabrics ripple with patterns inspired by nature, wood carvers shape intricate designs that seem almost alive, and weavers create baskets and mats with geometric precision. In local craft markets, artisans happily share the history and meaning behind their work, making each piece more than an object. It becomes a story you can hold in your hands. Americans often leave with keepsakes that are as personal as they are beautiful, reminders of a culture where skill and patience are cherished. The nightlife and evening charm. When the sun dips below the horizon, Malaysia takes on a different kind of magic. Night markets come alive with the scent of satay grilling, the laughter of friends bargaining, and the glow of colorful lights. In Kuala Lumpur, rooftop bars provide sweeping views of the glittering skyline, while in smaller towns, beachside cafes offer quiet evenings under a sky full of stars. The evenings here can be full of energy or wonderfully calm, giving visitors the choice to immerse themselves in the buzz or unwind in peaceful surroundings. The blend of faiths. One of the most moving impressions for Americans is the way different faiths coexist in harmony. In a single neighborhood, a mosque's call to prayer may rise alongside the chimes of a church bell, while the rhythmic beat of a temple drum echoes in the background. This is not staged for tourists. It is an everyday reality. The respect shown between communities is a living example of how diversity can be a source of unity rather than division, leaving visitors with a hopeful vision of what is possible in the wider world.